Greetings, it's Intuitive Jakob back, and I'm here to do a Mercury Retrograde reading. We are stepping into Mercury Retrograde on the 7th. We've been in the pre-shadow for a little while now, and this season, Mercury is actually going between two signs. The sign of Cancer, we started the pre-shadow period, late degrees, 23 degrees, Cancer. We are going Mercury Retrograde in 2 days from now on the 7th. At 4 degrees Leo, and by the time we are going direct again on the 31st of July, we'll be back in Cancer at 24 degrees. There are some interesting interplays with planetary matters, specifically with Pluto in retrograde, Uranus in retrograde, and how Mercury and Mars are planets of communication, how we fight and how we bleep, we'll just say F, and how people might be acting, especially in regards to how healing is coming forward. Retrograde seasons tend to be like a big sweeping magnet of particles that bring things back. So it's a time to review, a time to reflect, and sometimes things just come back in our faces, like relationships and things that had gone missing, and sometimes we're like, get out of here, I don't miss you at all. So could be a mixed bag for many of you. I'm going to ask that you know your own stories, your own genders, and know whether or not these depictions will apply to you. I will be doing 12 different readings, one for each of the 12 tribes. Make sure you check your sun, your moon, and your rising with me, because I'm actually more of a moon reader guy. And I will also say I'm focusing mostly on the healing energy in this. We have Chiron making a very strong appearance here at 4 degrees Aries. Wherever you might have that located, whatever is going on in your house of Aries may be influenced heavily with this type of healing that's coming forward. So I'm doing a 5-card spread for each of you. It's a cross, and with my cross readings, we can look at past, present, future, and have an idea of what reasons and potentials are, but really this is to give us an idea of situations, challenges, what our overall guidance is, how we're being focused, and more or less what we can determine an outcome to be, to give us an idea of how we might want to interact or not with certain people, places, and situations, because TBH, I keep hearing this is sort of a stifling, heavy, almost like wet blanket energy for some people. So many of us will be challenged by people who would like to influence a certain way, and it could be a time for power struggles to present themselves. Not that we have to participate in that, and I will just caution on that because I just keep hearing about people's impulses and the reasons why they might machinate towards another person. So we're going to take a look at that now, and I wanted to thank all of you who subscribe to my channel and those of you who support my spirit work. I really appreciate the thumbs up, especially if you appreciate my work or like the style of reading. And if you do, hit that little bell. It'll let you know when I upload more videos. All right, we'll see you on the inside of your video. Hey Libra, how you doing? It's good to have you here. Welcome. So we are getting your cards ready here. I've been shuffling and getting the space clear. Oh, a little bit of incense. Wanted to say thanks to everybody who's been supporting my channel. It's really great to have you here and spending some time. All right, got a little jasmine going for us here. Now we're going to do the 5-card cross that I mentioned in the intro. I have already started shuffling. I have these ready to go, and that looks like a very excited card for the situation. It almost jumped off a couple of times. That's our situation, current, present moment. This is our challenge, recent past. Here we've got our guidance and a near future card. this is our focus and really the reason for the situation. And this 5th card is a potential outcome. Let's see what's looking at us. Wow. So, got a devil showing up here. I'm hearing that you might be dealing with a Leo, actually. Libra, I don't know if you're dealing with a Leo. They had the same card show up in their reading. It could also have to deal with a Capricorn that maybe you have in common, or some person or situation, but that devil right there is, I'm hearing it is whatever had you feeling bound and gagged and like you're not going to have a hard time talking about it right now. Seems like there's some good indications about that. We've got something that wants to stick out here in the bottom, and I'm kind of tempted to look at it. And yeah, I'm hearing it was like sitting around waiting for rust to peel. I don't know if that makes sense to somebody, but I literally heard that from somebody's guides. They said it was like sitting around waiting for rust to peel, and I'm wondering if it might have to do with rust to appeal or rust to peel is what I'm hearing. The Tower of Babel at 0 point, these things can actually have cross-reference meanings, and things are created with sound, and they might be similar in sound and have completely different meanings for different people. But I'm hearing if you were waiting for something to happen and it was just deteriorating and you were not happy with the situation, it's like you've come to a point where you've recognized who's worth the time and when it makes sense to just call it what it is what I'm hearing. Let's see what's on the current, present moment here in the center of your reading, Libra. All right. 6 of Cups. Now, that's sort of a blast from the past for some of y'all. I'm hearing this might have to deal with some people that you've known for a long time, maybe that have gotten really comfortable with their positions in your life. And in some cases, this is going to have to deal with a return of an old love and maybe somebody that you really want to hook up with. Because if this is a passion sign here, you might have a really strong attachment with that devil, and there might be a lot of chemistry there for different situations. But showing up right at the center of the reading, we're hearing that whatever this symbolizes, this exchange here, it's something of an emotional nature. Anytime we see these Cups cards, that's really the case, but especially with something like the 6 of Cups, this is sort of a soulmate vibe that I'm picking up here. And know that soulmates can be people of all different kinds. You know, I would consider my little kids, my quadrupeds, soulmates of mine, but I'm hearing for some of you all, this is definitely of a romantic nature, and in some cases just feeling bound to somebody, and you might like it, is what I'm hearing, especially if you were waiting for this person for some period of time. Yeah, but somebody is definitely making a return with this 6 of Cups showing up here. Let's get a little more information. A recent past, or challenge, if you will. It's the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. So I'm hearing this was like a head or a heart decision that somebody had to make. Perhaps this was you, but I'm hearing it's been dizzy making for somebody. They're saying dizzy making. And did you have to make a decision about work because of what somebody was putting you through, Libra? I'm hearing that something might have happened while you were even away from work. If you're somebody that travels a lot for work, they're showing me somebody who travels a distance for the money that they make, and I'm hearing about a situation coming to light about either your ex or an ex of a current partner. It's something that needed to break out into the open. 2 of Pentacles, you know, this is going to have to deal with things that are physical in nature. They have a material concern. Sometimes it's work, finances is what I'm hearing this is a lot about, but I'm also hearing it's like how you juggle a relationship with somebody, especially if they're at a distance from you. And wow, I just started getting an itch on the back of my right leg here. I'm hearing it's like finding out that somebody was coming for your footing, whatever that means to you. Maybe somebody was gunning for you at work or at a job, but it's funny because I'm also seeing this, like, I didn't really notice this before, but this little boat here is by this person's knee, and it's like how traveling for work might have affected your stability, especially with regard to a home relationship is what I'm hearing about. And conversations about how somebody did something with the car keys that you didn't approve of, and what actually happened to the minivan for somebody. Wow, okay, so I can get very specific with these. I'm going to go ahead and move on because that's not just for everybody, but these are messages that are coming up, and since I do work directly with Spirit, a lot of times I'm going to get specific messages like that. Do know that if these don't resonate with you, that's okay. Make sure you also check your moon and your rising. Like I said, I'm more of a moon reader, but if you'd like one with just your energy and you want something that's specific just to you, hit me up at that link above there, and I'd be happy to do that for you. But I'm hearing for somebody, this is about why you turned somebody down in the past, and maybe revisiting why that connection might even be worth whatever this passion is for. And I will just say, be careful anytime the devil is there, because that is a very strong indication of people's influence over you. They might be very possessive. It could be very devious and sexual in nature sometimes. How somebody might try to gain control is what I'm hearing. So keep that in mind. This is a season where people might be tempted to do things and be a little pushy, especially if they want to find a place in your life. And I'm hearing for some of you, especially if this is something that you turned down in the past, you might be tempted right now when it shows up again. Let's see what we're looking at here in the guidance forward for the near future, Libra. Okay, so we've got the Five of Pentacles showing up right. That right there, I'm hearing might be because of a loss of finances due to a work situation. They're talking to me a little bit about conflict of interest and something weird about, this is only going to be if you work for contract. I don't know if you're like an independent contractor or you do some kind of independent contract work, but I'm hearing that the people that you've been working with might be the reason for whatever this devil situation is going on here. And they're talking to me about something that might have felt abusive and why somebody might have had to walk away from a job. But what's showing up here is people that are literally on the outside. They're not even looking in on the better situation there yet. This is a material concern card. I've seen people feel like they got shunned, or like they were on the outside kind of looking in with this sort of energy here. But I'm also hearing for some of you, this really has to do with you coming to terms with an addiction or an addictive person or situation in your life that has needed review, and a situation that maybe has been lingering for 2 months. They're showing me May to June, and I'm seeing this person juggling. It's like, I'm just hearing like, I can't be there, babe, I'm gone for work. And I'm just seeing somebody going through the motions here, and it being like the person that you're with or whoever you're connected to, and you might be going through a rough patch. And I'm hearing that this might be indicating just some cold shoulder tactics that somebody might be putting you through if they're not happy with you. That person might be strong in Pentacle suit in their natal constitution, meaning that they probably have earth element. I'm hearing Taurus with this, especially since it's 5 and the month of 5 on this. Would definitely be a Taurus person with earth, but it could also be somebody with Capricorn. We've got the devil showing up here too, or Virgo. You're gonna have to know your own characters here, but I'm gonna get a little more information on this. Let's see what the focus is underneath this, because this card is sort of the reason for things. And we're seeing the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So I'm hearing for some of you, it's like you feel like somebody might have dealt you a really bad plate. It's like whatever they have been dealing to you has been keeping you upside down and unaware, is what I'm hearing. And so I'm hearing that some of you are going to find out about some kind of situation with a loved one that might have come in from the past, and how it's like somebody was toying with your future or your destiny. This is a very karmic implication card, the Wheel of Fortune. It is major arcana, just like that devil, and this is one of those things that signifies long-term cycles in people's lives. Sometimes this is a 10-year process, but I'm seeing like 4 or more people involved in a situation, and it looks like one person is doing all the work and somebody might be trying to take the credit for it, is what I'm hearing about. And so these are the kind of things that can change during retrograde seasons too. And I'm hearing for some of you all, though, even this is like the focus and the reason, and this is looking like the future here, a near future. I'm hearing that it's coming to terms with perhaps how some devil in your life or some deceptive person may have been lying to you. And I can't help but notice, well, okay, a lot of things showing up here. The 8 of Swords was immediately under that devil, and what was showing up under that is this Lover's card. And so I'm hearing Gemini. This could be Libra, Aquarius here, but this air suit card, this 8 of Swords. But I'm hearing for some of you, this is finding out. I keep hearing about being bound and gagged, and if this isn't some kind of like BDSM, like bedroom play situation you have going on with your partner, which it could be for some of you, I'm hearing for somebody, this is like being caught at unawares and maybe not realizing that there was a lot of talk or things going on around you, not feeling like you could really do what you needed to do. It was like you didn't have the information to really take a step out and cut yourself free yet, even though maybe you wanted to, and maybe you had some suspicions. But I'm hearing for some of you all, this has a lot to do with your relationship, with maybe your marriage, and in some cases a decision that just needed to be made and not feeling like you could. For some of you all, this has been dragging on for at least 4 months or since April of this year, and knowing that you needed to cut away from something, and now being confronted with the truth about whoever the devil is and whatever role that person or situation might be playing in your world, in your relationship, in the reason why some of you might be taking a step away from a certain job. I'm hearing that there might be a job offer coming or some kind of opportunity from somebody from the past that you might be very, very willing to consider right now, and you're going to need to pay real close attention, Virgo. Excuse me, Libra. You might be dealing with the Virgo too, I don't know. I might just be speaking out of turn here, but Libra, you might want to pay very close attention to who that person is, because the warning that I'm getting right now in this is one about healing, that sometimes we might be willing to take people back just because of some sort of sentimentality that we have for the place that they filled in our life. I'm hearing about a 6-year relationship and how it's just been like ring around the rosies. It's like I just keep seeing this going around and around and around and around, and it might have to do with travel, but I'm hearing it's like feeling obligated, and in some cases even motivated to take time away from a loved one for career reasons, but because something wasn't right, because it didn't feel right, maybe at home, and like how escapism might fall into that, where sometimes we don't even realize, well, you know, this is the way I escape from this relationship, is I just keep real busy and I go on the road a lot. But I'm hearing for some of you all, that's just like, it's not working. It's not working out, and that this reason is why you might be willing to take either a lesser paid job or time away from work and walking away from a difficult situation. I'm hearing for some of you too, it's like there's a potential that somebody's coming back from the past that you would be willing to give things up for, just because they're the one that was willing to walk with you through the difficult time, maybe when you felt alienated, that it was just their presence there that helped make whatever that crappy situation might look like there actually be in a more palatable sense. Because if you had to do that alone, it could be much worse. But I'm hearing that for some of you, it's like knowing who you can even trust with those conversations and why somebody might be willing to make a sacrifice. But I'm hearing that for some of you, it's just realizing that somebody was being very possessive and very controlling and having too much say over how your destiny went forward. And there's a lot of karmic implications on that, Libra. I'm going to see what here is showing up overhead, because this is sort of our potential future outcome overhead. And we've got the Star showing up, Major Arcana. And I'm hearing for some of you, this might have to do with an event that you're attending. This is somebody that could be famous, actually. The Star, a lot of times, is people that are in the public eye. I've seen this be performers. I've seen this be all kinds of things. But that's somebody standing naked in their truth and pouring their emotion into the earth here. It's a very healing, nurturing energy where we even see the stars out in the daylight, you know? And I'm hearing for somebody, this might actually be coming to terms with addictions and addictive people, and somebody that you might have even had on a pedestal a little bit that hasn't been willing to be honest with you. And I'm hearing in this case, if that is what we're looking at here, Libra, this is a time where you're coming to terms with any delusions you might have had, willingness that you might have had to let somebody pull you through something that you didn't care to be a party to. And I'm hearing in some cases, this is like just learning that it's time to walk away from something that you didn't realize had become an addiction. And that doesn't have to mean, there's no shame that I'm saying in this. I'm not delivering any shame to you. But sometimes things will get ahead of us in a way where we don't realize how much we have changed, or our willingness to participate with that thing or person will have an impact. And in some cases, I'm seeing somebody just being very willing to take a look at what might seem like the more negative things here in favor of some kind of nostalgia is what I'm hearing. Just like a nostalgic feeling about a situation. I'm hearing for some of you, this is also just a willingness to take a look at the for better or for worse clause, especially if this has to deal with a marriage or whatever your union is to you, where you might have looked in somebody's eyes and taken them forever and told them and meant it that, no, babe, I'm with you for hell or high water. We're together. And knowing that even if you'd felt tied up and found out a reason why you had to untether yourself from something, and maybe we're not feeling very good about the process, waiting for that truth to come in, maybe finding out some kind of truth that left you feeling like you were on the outs, that you might still be willing to meet with that person in a loving way. And so I will always recommend, as long as there's no abuse in a relationship, loving the one that you're with and taking the time to communicate with them well. And I'm not seeing a lot of communication here. I'm seeing what looks like possibly speculation, what looks like there might be involvements from people that have too much say about how your energy gets rocked. I'm seeing somebody getting like their energy rocked. It's like being on a rocky road here, and maybe how, they've been juggling these things and feeling like they weren't sure if it was worth continuing. And still having some need for healing here. So I'm hearing for some of y'all the healing is pending, and that this has more to do with your willingness to address whatever this situation is right here, because that devil is really looming over here for some of you. And I'd like to know why. Let's see if we can just get a little bit more clarity on the star, because I'm hearing no matter what, even if this is watching somebody who might have been a star in your life take a fall at this time, that there's still some healing that can be had in this moment and in this period, because that's what the star is about, one way or the other. Sometimes it's facing a difficult truth that had to come out in the open, where somebody had to bear it or be caught and exposed, and that there's still some healing that can happen from that, because now you're wiser about it. I'm going to just shuffle on these Sibilas a little bit and thank our guides for some clarity about what we're healing from and what the star means and what it is that is up ahead for us, Libra, over this Mercury retrograde period. Because it looks like something is definitely coming forward to you. It hasn't presented itself yet, and I see a healing cup here being offered to somebody. And we're going to focus on the healing energy here. What do we need to know about this star? What's ahead for our Libra? It's a weird shuffle. One more here. Alright, I think that'll do it here, Libra. Okay, so Fortuna. I love seeing this. So this is speaking to what came up here. This is the Wheel of Fortune. And if it's been down, just know sometimes it can be a long time for some of these things to feel like they turn around. And what I love is that Fortuna showed up upright right here. This is basically the person who is now in control of the Wheel of Fortune. So if you've had petty interlopers and people taking credit or trying to be involved, I'm hearing about like a friend circle that just gets together and they just read each other. And it's like, I don't mean read each other like reading each other like this and trying to help each other, but it's like a catty, vindictive vibe is what I'm hearing. And things that people were getting away with, and might have just been because you weren't present enough, but whoever this is, I'm going to say that looks like you right there, Libra. This is a very good card to see here, because this Fortuna is somebody who is in control, and now they're in a position to let it out. And so I'm hearing that this is what happens when that star goes through this process of the Wheel of Fortune. Maybe this is knocking down somebody. Maybe you didn't realize that this person was more of a devil in your life than a star. But here we're seeing the Wheel of Fortune coming up right, and you being in a better position about it. And it might be because of a friend. Maybe that's what this Six of Cups is about, because sometimes this is a friend from the past. That could be a soulmate. But Lamika is somebody that you can trust, especially when she shows up right. You see she's moving that chair out of the way? It's like she's moving whatever was blocking here. So I feel like you got a friend here that's going to help. And oh yeah, this Il Pensiero, this is the thinker, the scholar. This guy is holding his face, trying to consider what was written on that paper. I'm hearing it's like you might be hearing whatever got read behind your back here, or being willing to turn away a job contract. I'm hearing for some of you all, and maybe walk away from something at the risk of being broke. But I hear for some of you all, especially if you're leaving a devil behind you in some crappy situation, this is what's going to empower you. Listen to your friends who can be trusted, and take time to consider things. And if you're presented with paperwork that you're not sure if you want to sign it yet, give yourself some time. I'm hearing 4 to 6 weeks, 4, 5, 6 here. It's approximately how long it's going to take to get through these retrogrades. At the end of the post-shadow period of Mercury retrograde, we're going to be a couple of weeks into August. And so you might just see if you can defer that. I'm hearing for some of you all, it might be taking like 5-week leave of absence or time away from work or whatever it was you were doing, just to consider this offer and make sure that everything that you read is actually what you want and that it's articulated just right. Especially if you had some screwball messing with your money, messing with your finances, and duping you in multiple contracts that weren't really paying off. Because I'm hearing for some of you all, that's everything that's about. And that you might be a little bit coming out of some depression, because that Amalto there is somebody that's been dealing with some sad news is what I'm hearing, and just not feeling good about it. But what's showing up at the bottom here too is the Consonante Sorpresa card, and this is somebody who is going to be moderately surprised and feeling much better about a situation coming forward. So I'm feeling much better about that. Thank you, Sabilas, for having some clarity here on the star. Libra, I hope that this was helpful for you. Let me know what you think about it. I'd love to hear your comments. I love hearing your comments when you comment for me. And if you enjoyed this style of reading, or if it made sense to you, hit me with a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And you take care. Hit me up at artoflove.me if you want a personal look with just your information, because I can do that for you too. All right, Libra, you take care, you be well, and we'll catch you again when we're back for another reading. Bye for now.
Promise that you'll catch me.